everybody here familiar with the laws in Congress that are trying to get rid of our local gun laws? They're being trying to push forward by 2 Democrats, one in Mississippi and one in Montana. So it's not enough to give speeches here in D.C. It's not enough to issue press releases here in D.C. You have to take the fights to those streets, and that's what I've been doing. I just finished a radio campaign in Helena, Montana, targeting Senator Tester. Next week, we're going back up live in Billings, Montana, and Columbus, Mississippi, on the radio ads of constituents that elect these people, letting them know they're not doing their job, they're not a full-time congressman or senator for their home state, they'd rather be a D.C. City Council member. That's the kind of stuff I've been doing as shadow representative. Thank you.
All right, good afternoon, what day? All right, well, like Mike said, this election for shadow representative is not about myself or it's not about the incumbent, it's about you. And the question that we have today is, who's going to do a better job in getting you involved? And that's why I'm running for shadow representative, because I believe myself, Nate Bennett-Fleming, can do the best job in getting you involved. And I'm proud and I'm honored to be here in Ward 8 today, because I feel like I'm coming full circle. I was born and raised in Ward 8. I got my start. I got my opportunities here in Ward 8. The opportunity to go to St. Andrew's Episcopal School, which I followed up by going to Morehouse College, where I served as the Deputy National Director of Faith Outreach on the Carey Campaign. I went to law school at UC Berkeley. I've also attended Harvard Kennedy School. So I have a wide wealth of experience to offer the citizens of Washington, D.C. And what we have to do right now with President Obama in the White House and Democrats in Congress, is get you involved. And I knew that this opportunity would not come up again. So that's why I decided to run. Because what's been done in the past can't be done again. We need someone that has passion. We need someone that has leadership skills. We need someone that has the tactical skills to get us to the table, and we also need the person with the people skills to get the people to the table. And that's what Nathan Leon Bennett-Fleming is going to provide for you today, and that's what I will provide for you when you elect me. So I'm very excited. We have an opportunity to make history today. But if you commit to me, I promise you that when the history books are written about this group of Washingtonians, they'll say that this small group of people were the people that finally won freedom, justice, democracy, and statehood for the people of D.C. Thank you so much.
We have our opening statement. Group, don't forget, this is a group process. Please make use of the index cards at the sign-in table to field your questions to our candidates here. One of the questions posed, more so a voter education question. Please give a description of the role and responsibility of your office. The incumbent would discuss the highlights of his term. The challenger would discuss his major initiatives that he would forward if elected. And we will have Mr. Bennett go first.
Okay. Well, I think that's a great question, Angela. Because, frankly, Mr. Bennett has been in this position for 2 terms, and we're still asking what the qualifications of the position is and what exactly does the position do. And that's one of the main problems with this position, shadow representative, that a lot of people do not understand that we're the official lobbyists for the city to the U.S. House of Representatives for D.C. statehood and D.C. voting rights. And I'm running because 9 out of 10 residents of D.C. don't know A, what the shadow representative is, B, what the shadow representative does, or C, who the shadow representative is. And if you elect me, I'm passionate. I work hard. One of my main platform pieces is getting D.C. residents to care about it. Like I said, it's not about me or the incumbent. It's about you. And I want to get you involved by being accessible. Coming to meetings. I've been at every Ward 8 Democrats meeting since September. Holding events. happy hours, marches, whatever it takes to get you involved is what I'm going to do. Because at the end of the day, that's what's needed. Another major part of our platform is that we have to be more aggressive with our outreach to members of Congress and to elected officials all across the country. And what I've done is I've started college chapters for DC statehood all across this country. Because a senator from Idaho is not going to listen to a brother from Southeast, but they'll listen to a college student that's from Idaho that calls his office and says, hey, I want to stand up on behalf of the citizens of DC. So what I've done is collected and built the foundation for these college chapters all across the country. And what we're going to do is organize those students, organize the faith community, and next summer we're going to come back and hold a DC Freedom Summit, where we'll be aggressive and we'll work to outreach to members of Congress all throughout the summer so they will not ignore us and they'll know that we demand our respect. Thank you so much.
So I agree with my opponent here that not a lot of people know what the shadow representative is or does. I have to remind everybody that this job is uncompensated. There's very little resources from the federal government, or for the city, there's none from the federal government, and very little from the city government, which is pretty much zero. So everything we have to do in the shadow delegation office has to be done on a shoestring budget. So I'm a big proponent of high-impact, low-dollar campaigns, and that's what I've been doing as a shadow representative. Now, I don't really care if people don't know who I am. This isn't about Mike Panetta, but I do care that I get people outside the country, outside the District of Columbia, knowing more about what's going on in here in D.C., knowing more about the fact that we don't have voting representation in Congress, that we're not a state, that all our laws, all our budgets, all our local decisions have to go through a Congress that we didn't elect. That's the kind of stuff I care about. That's the kind of stuff I've been working on. And yes, the fight is outside of D.C., and that's what I've been doing. Again, I've gotten people outside of D.C. to write to their members of Congress. Anything we want, voting rights, statehood, budget, and legislative autonomy, has to go through Congress. And we have to make sure that the Congress that is elected and the Congress that is there is hearing from their constituents. Now, it's great that Nathan is organizing a Freedom Summer and has chapters of people, students around the country. That's the kind of stuff we need to be doing. That's the kind of stuff I am doing. I'm running ads right now in Montana, ads right now in Mississippi, targeting the constituents of the congressmen and senators that are messing with our local laws. That's where the fight is. The fight isn't here in D.C. If I go up to Capitol Hill as a shadow representative, that's not going to mean a hell of a lot. But if their members of their constituents are hearing from on their own radio stations and from their own people in their hometowns that they're not doing their jobs, they're focusing more of their attention on the District of Columbia, not on the needs of Mississippi and Montana, that's the kind of stuff that elections are won and lost over. That's the kind of stuff I'm trying to do outside the District of Columbia. Thank you.
Thank you both. Okay, this is how we're going to do this question. The question is, what type of influence does your office have? What do you do? And what would you do differently? So we'll start this time with the covenant and then the challenge.
So the question started off, what kind of influence do I have? The influence of the shadow representative position, just as an elected position, is small. The influence comes from the work that you do and the pressure that you put on the right places at the right time. So what I do in that position, to go back to what I said before, is high-impact, low-dollar campaigns to try to get as many people around the country to know about our issues and care about our issues. So in terms of the influence I've had, I think I've had a significant influence with the resources that are allocated to this position. I started a PAC, the Free and Equal DC Fund. That didn't come with the job. That's something I took the initiative to start on my own. It's a federal PAC, raising some money, spending it around the country in support of going after congressmen and senators who are against our rights here in DC and supporting those who are for our rights. So in terms of influence, yes, that's the kind of thing that needs to be done, we need to do more of. Building up the position, getting more people involved around the country, because again, the fight for District of Columbia statehood and voting rights does not happen in the District of Columbia. It happens in every legislative district around the country during every election. So putting the pressure on where it matters at the right time in the right place. And I've been lucky. Through my PAC and through some people who supported it, we've funneled donations to senators who defeated incumbents who in 2006 were against